women that are pregnant or women that are menstruating select significantly different from when they're ovulating. So when a woman is ovulating, she's going to select a man with significantly more masculine cues, more alpha traits, more alpha tendencies, higher testosterone cues, as opposed to the menstruating, the period side, where it's a lot more softer, beta-tized, more feminized man type of tendencies. And so you think that is how these women are selecting. They've been on the birth control, let's say 14, 15 through 27, 28, when they decide, hey, I found my cleanup guy. I want to have a kid. I want to start a family. They got to get off the birth control for roughly about a year to be truly fertile again. And in that time, in becoming fertile, the cues completely change. So when women have all the fun in their 20s, all the fun, and then when 26, 27, 28 rolls around, and all their friends are getting married, having kids, starting families, etc., and society is putting that pressure on them because biologically women know you're basically like a fruitcake at 30. It is the fire sale, everything must go, going out of business. Right? Have you ever seen Don't Mess with the Zohan, Adam Sandler? Everything must go, going out of business sale the second the clock strikes 30. Let's look at this pressure. Got to get the cleanup guy. Maybe he doesn't have to be as good looking, as tall, as rich, as charming, as in good shape. Maybe he only has to be 3 inches instead of the 6 inches that I'd prefer. Maybe it's an angry 3 inches. I don't know. That's the preference, right? It's the cleanup guy. You're going to come clean up the mess, and you're just good enough to get by. So I don't end up childless and alone for 35, collecting cats and drinking wine, collecting corgis. And no shade to the corgis. We love corgis here on this channel. But point being, so all that happens. She's finally off the birth control because the birth control makes her select a softer man, which is in line with what I just described to you. And now all of a sudden she's off the birth control. And you are not so attractive. She wants the masculine cues. She wants the high testosterone cues, right? And I'll tell you this from 2 examples. I've dated many women that have been on and or off birth control, depending on which ones you have, but 2 that come to mind on a long-term basis. These ones stand out the most. And I saw about a year and change, less than change, on birth control and then off. And both of them, it was literally textbook. Because when they are off the birth control, they like my beard to be a little bit longer. They like the sharper, pointy, the triangular taper that I love personally, which is a masculine cue. And they loved shorter hair. Like for me, I like it nice and high and tight to the wood, right down to the wood. Need a little touch up right now, but you get the point. When they were on the birth control, they wanted the more rounded beard. They wanted a beard that was rounded and would emphasize fatter cheeks, a softer look. They wanted me to grow my hair out longer. If anybody stuck around long enough when this was a channel documenting my career through professional hockey, I had a mullet, and that mullet was down to here, and these women on birth control loved it. Now you know who hates me more than anybody else? Women on birth control. Nobody hates me more than women on birth control. It's a good thing. And we'll continue on this path in this conversation. Both of them, night and day. And so when we fast forward to the 27, 28, 29 category, your woman has been on, or a woman has been on birth control for, let's say she started at 14, 15, 13, 14, 15 years, and you have been tricking the female body into believing it has been fake pregnant for that time. And so think about this. Most women back in the day, when they had big families and dad worked a farm, we need to have kids so we have somebody to work the farm, they'd pop out maybe 10, 11, 12, 13 kids at most, and then that was it. It was, hand the 2 weeks notice, done type of deal. And now instead of actually producing kids, you've been fake producing kids, tricking the body into that for not 10 to 13, 12 kids, for 14, 15 years of consecutive pregnancy. So think of the amount of damage and the wear it takes in the body. And then these women, and it's some of the stats and a lot of the studies are coming out now where these women that are turning 27, 28, 29 that have been on this birth control, the hormonal birth control for so long, are infertile. They have PCOS. They're having cysts growing on their ovaries. They can't have kids. And so my thought process on that was, well, okay, Big Pharma has a way to sell you hormonal birth control. A lot of money in that. And you as the man are like, well, this is great. Plug your ears if kids are listening, but I get to, fill her up at the gas station. Fill her up, for those that understand what I'm saying, with no consequences. Feels better. Life is a lot better. She also doesn't have the responsibility of taking accountability for, oops, I was a little bit irresponsible. Maybe I had it out of wedlock. Maybe I was a little bit younger when I did it, but whatever. I have no accountability or responsibility that needs to be taken because I'm on the pill. All that is gone, and now she is infertile. And on top of that, well, I guess we could do IVF, right? We could do in vitro. We could do it that way. But that costs money. That is not covered by the free healthcare system here in Canada. And so now Big Pharma milks you for all the hormonal birth control you've been buying over the years. Or, I know people are going to say, But it's free. This is true. The government now completely gives it out for free. If a woman wants hormonal birth control, they give it out like Skittles. Here you go. It's free. Free. Paid by your tax dollars. So it is paid for. Big Pharma is making their money. But Big Pharma is not having your IVF covered. And then you got to pay big money to try and do that. And chances of getting pregnant aren't great. You spend all this money to try to get fertile. Your woman's 35, 33, 34, whatever the time comes. And then you can't have a baby because she's infertile. Or it's a special needs kid because all the issues that you're having. And then, so I wonder to myself, I'm like, has birth control killed the West? Well, there's no doubt that it's completely killed the birth rates, right? You cannot argue that women having kids in their 30s versus their 20s and 30s is better for society. That's why the birth rates are so low.